excruciating. That is how I would describe the first 2 episodes of HBO Max's new Velma series. I cannot believe how terrible this show is. I made jokes about how bad it was going to be, made videos about it, and thought that I should at least give the show the benefit of the doubt and watch it and see if maybe I was wrong, if the videos I made turned out to not age well, if maybe I'd eat some humble pie, but no. This show is as funny as a get-together between Jeffrey Dahmer, Vladimir Putin, and Sean Penn, all at Amy Schumer's house. It is tragic. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and for this video, we're going to do a little bit different. We're not going to cover the news. We're going to go over Velma and about how it is tragic. But not only is it unfunny and tragic, it destroys Scooby-Doo lore. Let me tell you what you get in the first 4 minutes. In the first 20 seconds of these first 4 minutes, you have Velma giving a monologue about how this is her origin story, even though origin stories are normally reserved for men with power. After that, she calls it Fred's van, when any self-respecting Scooby-Doo fan knows that, hey, the Mystery Machine belongs to Daphne, give that girl her due. And then we get child nudity. And by child nudity, I mean the kind that's going to get you in a lot of trouble, because it moves to a shower scene in a girl's locker room. This is a high school, and you see some hand-drawn teenage derriere. So some little tushies of these high school girls, all nice and squeaky clean, with soaps and suds and the sort of stuff that's gonna get you in trouble, because these are high school students. But sure, you know what? High school nudity, put us all on lists. Thanks, HBO Max. And then, to round it out, we have a joke about whitewashing casting. That comes from Velma herself. So, if those first 4 minutes do not tell you or give you some inkling of what you're getting into, I don't know what to tell you myself. This was absolutely painful. Do you guys remember the original Super Mario Bros. Movie from the 90s that decided to kick all Super Mario fans in the ballsack with how not Super Mario it was, and how if it were its own original thing, it still probably wouldn't be very good, but it would at least have been a whole lot better? This show manages to do that. It not only is awful, and much like that Super Mario film, kicks you in the balls, but it does so in a way that also destroys the lore. Aside from the examples I mentioned earlier, you know, Daphne is supposed to be rich. She comes from a rich family. Once again, that's very accepted Scooby-Doo lore. But in this, no, Freddy is the rich kid with the, you know, spoiled lifestyle and parents who are you know, showering him with affection. Only there's a bit of a twist to it. Maybe I'll get to it in a bit. But no, Daphne, instead of being rich, she is adopted and Asian, oddly enough, even though she has red hair. I'm wondering if there will be an explanation for that, with 2 lesbian mothers who are also cops, who are also partners. Now, if you're a lesbian, or gay, or whatever, but let's say, you know, you have a partner, and you're a cop, your partner won't be your partner. Like, that's a conflict of interest. Now, I'm sure they probably did this, knowing this, to set up for some funny, wacky hijinks and some little comedy moments here and there, but the show is so unfunny, we do never get those. So yeah, they screw up Daphne and Freddy out the gate. And I want to stop right here and say I did not watch this alone. I watched this with somebody, and the somebody I watched it with, you would think would be the ultimate demographic. It was a, you know, female with colored hair who just drools over gay cowboy My Hero Academia fanfic. If you were going to tell anyone that a race-swapped Velma origin story prequel to Scooby-Doo was going to fit a certain demographic, you'd think the girl with colored hair who loves gay My Hero Academia fanfic would be the one. She probably hated it more than me. The amount of looks I got that screamed, "Can we stop this? I hate you for having me do this," was quite frankly baffling, and it was almost scarier than any idea that came out of the writer's room for this show. But for you guys, we powered through it, so you're welcome. Back to the changes in the source material. Shaggy is absolutely awful. He is nothing like Shaggy. Doesn't sound like him. Doesn't act like him. He does have a YouTube or Twitch channel where he does, you know, food blogs and food reviews, and that's the kind of extent of it being Shaggy. That, and he's wearing a green shirt and red pants. Another race swap character, just like everybody but Freddy so far. So yeah, it's also got that going for it. He's not a coward. He's not afraid at all. In fact, he's quite brave. So, one of the basic tenets of what makes Shaggy as a character is that he's a chicken. He and Scooby are both absolute scaredy cats. I don't know why it's a scaredy cats but made chicken noises. My point is, oh yeah, Scooby, obviously not even in it. We've already established that. That's been in all the promotional material. It's not going to have Scooby. So we have a Scooby-Doo prequel with no Scooby. Shaggy's not a coward. In fact, Freddy, Velma, and Daphne have cowardly moments, despite them being the brave ones in the show. Like, it goes out of its way to just be all wishy-washy with the characters. Speaking of wishy-washy, it washes a lot of characters. The only one that is the original ethnicity that they were back in the day is Freddy, and he is treated like the bad guy in this show because, of course he is. So you've got a race-swapped Velma, Daphne, and Shaggy, and of course Velma, Daphne, and Shaggy, they're not treated like bad guys. Sure, they've got some character flaws, like any good character, and that's some character flaws. But actually, Shaggy doesn't even have any character flaws when you think. So really, just the two female characters do. I'll give it that. At least the female characters have flaws. But look, I'm not going to be one of those people that like, oh, it's just bad because women and diversity. Like it's not even that, because the show doesn't know its own target audience. Like, yes, I make a lot of jokes and comments about woke culture and how we're getting too much of, this, that, and the other in our TV shows. They're adding diversity, straight white men going away. But this show does do that. It absolutely gets all this woke stuff. But then it also makes fun of other woke stuff, so it doesn't even know its audience. You've got people who will probably watch this for the diversity, for the woke jokes, for the progressive humor, and they'll find about half of it funny. Then the other half is making fun of that ideology, so they'll probably get all butthurt about that. And then you've got people like me who just want good characters, good story, neither of which the show offers so far, but I'll get to that in a bit, but who just want to leave politics and agendas out of your show. And a lot of the jokes they make are things that I would say in earnestness in a YouTube video. The things that are going to make the people who want woke and progressive humor get upset that they're calling out the idiocracies in their own ideology. It's mind-blowing how this truly doesn't seem like it's made for anyone, or maybe it's a failed attempt at making it for everyone. Now, I know, and I say Scooby-Doo, we all think of PTSD, childhood trauma, and abandonment issues, but oh wait, that's not what you think of when you think of Scooby-Doo? Well, good thing this isn't Scooby-Doo, this is Velma, because all of that is on full display. So Velma, if we want to talk about more lore issues, by the way, speaking of Velma, since it is her show, she keeps reminding us, she doesn't need glasses. They're her mom's glasses. Her mom is missing, so she wears her mom's glasses like as a, I guess, way to remember her or be close to her. So the character who is famous for, I can't see without my glasses, doesn't even need the glasses she wears. I thought this was supposed to be a prequel. How can you go back and change so much stuff and have it still exist within the existing lore and continuity? I mean, I know that Scooby-Doo canon's pretty fast and loose, so while it's a prequel, it's a prequel in name only. It's just so funny that they contradict that to that much of an extent. But yes, when I was talking about PTSD and trauma, so Velma, whenever she tries to solve a mystery, she has panic attacks and hallucinations where this evil ghost version of what you find out is her mother is attacking her, and it's not compelling in the slightest. It's frankly kind of dumb. The show thus far, after 2 episodes, has given us no incentive, the viewer, me, the viewer at least, no incentive to find out more about it because I don't care. It's not strikingly interesting or anything to that effect. It also has not given us reason to care about the mystery, which I guess I'll get into. The mystery is that high school, popular preppy girls have now been found in both Velma's dumpster and in her locker, dead, top of the dome just chopped off, brain removed. And of course she gets blamed for it first. By the end of the first episode, she is proven innocent, and Freddy takes the fall. So now it is all about trying to prove Fred innocent because, he is made to look like the bad guy. Why is he made to look like the bad guy? Because the only straight white male on the show, who we assume is straight, we don't even know that for sure, hasn't hit puberty yet, so he's got a little tiny baby dick, so he's embarrassed. We never do see the little tiny baby dick. I'm thankful for. It's okay to show us the high school women's, buttocks, but we can't see the little tiny baby dick. So I don't really know where the showrunner's priorities lie when it comes to pedophilia. Maybe they just like one version over the other, but at least that's nice for us to question in our Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I'm not so sure this is what Obama was talking about when he said change you can believe in, but this is absolutely changes I can believe in. I can believe they have made all these unnecessary changes with the way Hollywood has gone ever since about 2016. Another unnecessary change is that Daphne is now a drug dealer. Yeah, that's Daphne is a drug dealer, and the drugs are named the Mystery Machine and Zoinks. So yeah, Shaggy at no point ever says Zoinks. No, not even once. He instead just talks normal, keeps saying VM, voicemail, explaining what a VM is, voicemail, it was strange. But instead, Zoinks is a drug that Daphne sells, just like Mystery Machine. So yeah, there is no car they drive around. That's the name of a drug, something you want to probably like snort or put up your bunghole or whatever you want to do to get high. And she ropes Velma into trying to sell drugs with her. Once again, very, very Scooby-Doo. We've always wanted to see Velma Dinkley, the smart one, selling drugs. At the end of it, we got through both episodes. Neither of us laughed once. It was, I said excruciating at the beginning. The only time in the intervals of watching this show that I laughed was in between episodes when she made a joke. The friend I was watching with made a joke that was completely unrelated to the show. It was just made a joke about something else while we were waiting for the second episode to queue up, and I laughed at that. And it was the only smile that had come across my face in the entire 40-ish minute, 45 to 50 minute sitting of watching these episodes. It was terrible. It was quite awful. I would say there was almost one redeeming quality. At one point you see graffiti on the wall, and it's like the old clown, hypnotist clown that the Scooby Gang fought. And then at one point on Shaggy's wall you see a drawing of the robot that they unmasked, in the old days of Scooby-Doo. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're at least paying homage to the original villains. But then I remember this was a prequel, and I'm like, how would these villains haven't existed yet? They've not formed Mystery Inc. to catch these bad guys. And I started questioning the Scooby-Doo timeline, like I mentioned earlier, which I never thought would be the case. We have Ultra Instinct Shaggy being canon, but now I'm questioning the Scooby-Doo timeline. So that's where we're at with that. I don't even know how to explain this show. It truly is the worst thing I've seen of 2023 so far. And I know we're not super far in. We have the whole rest of the year where things can get exceedingly worse. But if I were to tell, if I was to reference one of my older videos, take a step back and be like, you know what? Wizards of the Coast, I will let you make all the changes you want to the OGL if this would go away. No, I still wouldn't do that. Wizards can burn. But my point is, this needs to go away. Mindy Kaling, I never once would have thought she was untalented. She wrote what are to be considered some of the funniest episodes of The Office. Now, I'm not a big fan of The Office, never really have been, but if other people who are fans of The Office say that she wrote some of the funniest episodes, I'd like to give her credit and be like, yeah, good for you, good writing. There is no good writing in this. I don't know if she lost all of her talent after The Office or if she never truly had to begin with, but there is not a shred of good writing or originality in this. It is quite baffling, and the jokes themselves are even dated. At one point when Freddy's going to court, you could see a guy holding a sign in protest that says, "Lock her up." Really? Lock her up? That's like a conservative, 2016 sort of thing from Hillary Clinton back in the day. It's 2023. Like, it's been a while since lock her up was a thing. Who are you trying to make jokes at the expense of, or who are you trying to own? Even, normal woke people nowadays don't go that far back and make jokes about that because it's played out. But yeah, the lock her up joke, the guy's holding a sign protesting Freddy. It says, lock her up, only this time him instead of her. And it was just, I had to pause and do a double take to figure out, is that supposed to be a joke, or are they being ironic? I didn't know. I assume it was just another attempt at failed humor because everything in this show is an attempt at failed humor. If you want to continue watching this and maybe give me updates in the comments below, sure, by all means, go for it. I'm done. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I'm not going to review it. I'm giving up. I'm throwing in the towel, man. I couldn't do this. And nope, I won't do it for a Scooby snack either. But that's all I've got for this. If you want to go ahead and please like, comment, and subscribe, the subscription would mean the world to me. I'm really trying to grow this channel in 2023, and I'm going to need some more content to do it, because we all know that I'm not doing any more Velma content. You know, this was enough. So yeah, please do subscribe, because this has been Words of Paradise.